only at part 2 and already I have words of advice, which is take care, all right, should you undertake this ship. So 2 beak halves go together, fine. Back goes on, fine. I haven't done any of this bit yet because there was a bit of a where it slipped off the sprue. No matter how tightly and neatly you try cutting off the sprue, there's always a bit of damage. There's a tiny little gap at the front of the beak and just along there as well, all right? So had to deal with that and rub it smooth. This is Games Workshop liquid green stuff, which is really good for very small cracks. So that's that. So haven't done any of this, and I'm not putting in the little aluminium things until the very end. There's no point. I'll paint them separately, put them in at the end. This bit, pay attention, this bit. Here is a shape, 64, right? 64 doesn't exist on a sprue. Okay, it's a separate piece. And it says landed, use this one. Flying, use with display base, this one. Which I figure the display base fits into that, right? The head scratching moment was, I was pretty sure that's it. It's the underside of the their passenger pod, isn't it? Okay, but what was throwing me is the detail that you see here, like those little round things that are on the leg pods, and these little tubes there are nowhere to be seen in this detail. You've got some Airfix Saturn V engine bell halves, and you've got these things going on, but none of that detail. The only thing I'm assuming is that the regular passenger pod, this is an image from the regular passenger pod, which has those details, and this, because it's like a different pod, has different details. So yeah, I've decided to have the ship in the landed position, so all I've got to do is get that little bit there and glue that in there. All right, so that's that. I don't see the point in doing this. The feet have this lattice work inside, but then you've got to cover it up. So what was the point of having that? All right, I don't really understand that, but you had to do that 4 times. Then you have to choose which you want to have. Do you want to have it flying with the legs fully extended, or landed with them down? And it's like, it's something that never really occurred to me. It's like, yeah, of course, if you're going to have the Eagle landed, of course these will have been compressed down. And this is the one that I'm going for, so had to do it 4 times, and that is one of them. Lovely detail, nice job. And it's only stick that into that 4 times, so it's not too much of a slog. I had to make this thing, both part 48. Don't know what that's for, but I've done that. Oh, here we go. Right, so 4 leg pods, right? Very specific, right front, right rear, left rear. And this little thing that goes on the underside, all right, you have to absolutely make sure that it's the largest notch there is pointing towards the front, which I did. But as you can see, it's quite a few parts that you've got to cut out and glue together, right? And these 2 rear ones, you actually have to shave off this pin here, all right, which takes that thing there on the front ones, all right? So because you had to do it 4 times, it's a slog to do it one after the other, 4. So I did the first one, went away, did something on another ship, came back, did another one, went away, came back, did another one, went away, came back. It's only when I got to the 4th one that I realised I was obeying what it was saying about, you know, the correct placement of these side bits where you've got 2 fat rectangles and 2 thin ones. On the other side, you must have the round detailed towards this side. It's only when I was building this fourth one that I realised that this front bit, oh by the way I'm leaving these off until the end. It's only when I was doing that that I realised that the one with the square with a circle in goes next to that one, and the one with the lines on goes to the circle. And I it's like, oh crap, this has to be a certain way around. And I checked, and all three that I had already done, I'd put the wrong way round, right? So all three of them, even though it was hours before, I had to very gingerly, and I started at the back here, I got my scalpel in there and prized it, and I managed to eventually prize off the top, lift this out, right? Because as you can see, look, the side that's got the circle is next to the one with the rectangles, and the one with the circle there is next to the side with the rectangles. So yeah, I only just managed to spot it in time, and if I had left it overnight, that glue would have set hard, and yeah, that would have been bad, because it would have rankled me, it would have niggled me, that was the wrong way around. So that's done, few, all right, and the latest I've got is to here, which is this part, right? This bit here is that door there. And this is fabulous because, as I said in part one, you know, they've totally recreated the back of the Tamiya German tank. And also at the top, they've also recreated the front and back of the Airfix lunar lander. And there's a back of one there, and they've recreated that. So I've made that box, and I've also made the side bits which go onto it there like that. But I'm holding off now on this bit because this all needs priming and base coating and weathering, because there's absolutely no way, once all this caging starts going on, that I'm going to be able to get in there. In fact, I'm thinking I might have to start spraying and base coating all the caging before putting everything together. All right, it's not going to be filthy, this eagle, but the working bits, I do want to have some sort of like weathering and washing in there. All right, so that's where I am. So it's going to halt now for a while because I've got to prime that, base coat it, weather it, right, before I can continue on. All right, so yeah, that then is end of part 2.